Let me go. Dr.
Hello,
Danielle,
Lee.
how you doing?
I'm doing really well.
Awesome. Thank
I'm
you.
pretty sure
Thank you
you're
for
from Boston, Massachusetts. So you've been here twice. That's good to know.
You live in Boston?
We do. Hence the Aussie accent, just to throw a curveball, but based over here in chilly northeast at the moment.
So you're in Boston right now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That gets it out of the way. My first question is, hey, where are you from? No.
Sydney, Australia is home, but we live in Boston.
Oh, that's awesome. How long have you lived in Boston?
We have been here now 2 years. So came at a good time of the pandemic, but
Right on.
It's been fun.
That's awesome. So I have a couple questions. I'm trying to pull these up here. Did you have a good day?
We did, actually. It was all good. It was nice. I think it was 60 or 70 degrees over here. So for us
nice.
in March, everyone's
Nice.
out like spring's coming.
Yeah, it's been beautiful here. Like this whole week, it's been sunny. I just moved to Oregon to open up an animal sanctuary, actually, 2 months ago exactly, and well, almost 2 months ago. And it's been everyone warned me about the rain, yet I still wasn't that prepared for it. But lately, like the past week, it's just been super sunny and beautiful. I'm having just an incredible time out here. It's been really awesome.
Lovely.
All right, so first and foremost, Whimsies, thank you so much for putting this together. This is awesome. I'm not sure where to start because we got so many questions. So, how often would you say is it important to get? The first question is for a dog to get their teeth cleaned. Like how important is it, and how often should they do it?
So cleaning comes in two ways, and it's the same as you or I. We clean every day at home, and we need to go to our dentist once a year, ideally twice in some cases. It's the exact same for our dogs. So here we want to be brushing or giving them some kind of active or passive dental care at home every single day. So not once a Sunday, not every now and then.
Every day?
Every single day. It takes as little as 24 hours for that bacteria, which is plaque, to accumulate on their teeth. So if you're not brushing it off, that's then what almost like mortar starts to firm up, and then it becomes that yellow-brown discoloration on their teeth, which is tartar. Then they have to go to the veterinarian to get that cleaned and scaled off. So every single day home care, and then once a year to the veterinarian, which ties in with your annual health check to lift the lip and have a look and maybe see how they're going.
Yeah, that's what I figured every day. That's what I was doing. I was brushing all their teeth every day.
You're not looking nervous at all there, Lee.
I feel like animal control is about to pop out.
But it sounds like Pom-Pom's going to be okay. You'll be all right there.
That's the benefit of having older dogs.
Yeah, that's true. And that's a good point, because an adult dog, 80% of them have dental disease. But once they become over 12, it's 96% of them. So that's when they'll lose their teeth. But that's also when that dental disease really becomes prevalent for the olders.
So when you know how like I actually learned this from Whimsies that 80% of dogs have dental disease. Is that correct?
Correct. So that's 4 out of every 5 dogs you see or meet will have some form of dental disease. And if they're an older dog, that's almost 100% of them.
I wonder what the percentage is of people that actually, take care of their dog's mouth every day or even once a week.
So here's some fun facts.
I wonder
there.
how that kind of.
Only 2% of the pet parents out there brush their dog's teeth every day.
And they should be so disappointed in themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And
unbelievable.
Worse, only 14% take them to the veterinarian or their dog's dentist once a year. So net, we're all atrocious pet parents when it comes to looking after our dog's teeth. So hence we're here to educate and talk about the importance and how to do it. So we can help.
What are some ways to do it? Like, can you choose an alternative? Do you have to brush? Like, let's say you give them Whimsies every day. Yep. Would you have to brush their teeth every day? Can you?
Yeah, both? So the gold standard is always going to be your toothbrush, okay? So it works to physically and mechanically remove that plaque. But again, pet parents say, I like to keep my fingers, I have no time, my dog's not going to let me do that. Now, there's other ways you can do it. You can also use a finger brush, which is the same thing, but it lets you use your finger. A little less daunting, and it's a great way to start. This is what we call active brushing. So it's physically you actively helping remove that plaque off your dog's teeth.
Okay.
Now, if they're like the 98% of the rest of us, there's then alternates such as passive ways of cleaning your dog's teeth, which is simply put, they do the work and we don't have to. So this works out really well.
You bring the energy, I got to tell you. This is fantastic. Okay.
So we know that 98% of dog parents give their dog a treat. We love doing that, right? But
Yeah.
always saying now, instead of giving them a soft and chewy treat or a jerky or something else, give them a dental chew.
As far as my last question for my own personal benefit, as far as the bad breath,
Yes.
I have some of my dogs. I could sense like Penny, even the big guy over here. I got so many dogs I forgot his name. Sorry, Charles. Charles, but like some of them, the breath is really starting to kick in. Like almost like I feel like it's getting worse daily. Can it happen pretty quickly? And is it because of plaque or is it because of what's going on there?
Yeah,
I know
so bad breath can be caused by a couple things. You know, it's always one of those things, if you're at all worried, go speak to your veterinarian so they can have a look. Because it could be also from underlying health issues. But the majority of cases, it's a key sign of dental disease. And what happens is it's the bacteria that start to accumulate in their mouth and on their teeth that really start to then cause that bad odor and the prevalence of it. It's one of the #1 signs of dental disease. Pet parents will notice before they notice anything else. So if you are noticing it, maybe it's time to up the game of looking after their teeth or get them into the vet to have a professional clean, because it might be time to remove it all, start from scratch, and then look at maintaining them.
Yeah, that's what I did with, I have a black Chihuahua Pekingese mix. I used to think she was Chihuahua Pug until recently I found out she's a Chihuahua Pekingese. Her breath was so awful, I really just couldn't take it, and I just got her teeth cleaned, and now it smells fine.
Yeah. And you'll see that more often on those smaller guys, just because they've got the same number of teeth, but instead of that nice big jaw, it's squished in. So it simply enables them to be more at risk of having dental disease.
Makes sense. Okay, let me read off a couple questions here. What is a good routine to do to preserve the canine fang teeth?
Yeah, so these are the teeth at the front. If I look at my doggy dental here, so I'm going to pull apart the top jaw. These are the ones you'd be looking at for more of these. Now, the most important thing is they're fine. You just want to be making sure that you can clean them. The plaque normally accumulates on the back teeth of a dog's mouth. But if you've got a dog who's, say, a heavy chewer of rocks or bones or anything like that, that's when you might start to see them wearing down more. So nothing in particular for those ones other than avoiding eating something that is rocks and bones. But most importantly, clean it the same as you would all the rest. From an overall tooth perspective from dental disease, the ones most at risk are those at the back of the mouth. So that's why if you're brushing your teeth, you know, pet parents, we may do a good job of these front ones, but we've really got to get to the back of the mouth, or use a Whimsy's dental chew, because, you know, dogs chew at that back of the mouth than they do at the front of the mouth. I've got my jaw going everywhere over here.
Sounds like it's in a few pieces right now.
It is. That's right. Don't rely on me as a veterinarian. No, just kidding.
Gotcha. This one's pretty interesting. Why does my dog's breath smell like fish even after a cleaning from the vet? Still fishy.
So they're always going to have, they're never going to have that minty, fresh taste, that smell of breath that we're used to. And a lot of it comes from what they're eating as well as their overall health of the mouth. So it is one of those things where, you know, even the toothpaste, when we look at them, they're often a protein flavor. So this is like a beef flavor. It's never going to be those minty ones. So you'll often find there is a little bit of a different odor. And if they're eating an ocean or a fish-based product, that's probably going to be why. Or they've gotten into the cat food, one of the two.
I like it. Yeah, I was going to say, maybe if you're still feeding the dog seafood, that could probably do it. Are dentals for seniors with heart murmurs safe?
Yeah, so that's always a question. You know, as pets age, that's where we start to worry of putting them under an anaesthetic, which is what you need to do to have a professional clean and scale. So it becomes one of those debates as they age, what's the greatest risk? And if you've got a heart murmur in your dog, then you might be going, look, the risk of having a complication from an anaesthetic might be greater. And that's why it's so important as we think about our younger dogs to really look after their teeth as they're an adult and even a puppy, so that by the time they get to the senior, they're in a pretty good state. So you're not having that internal dilemma of, do we anaesthetize them or do we not, for just looking after their dental teeth. So it's a tough one. I'd always look to your veterinarian on that.
Copy. Where to go? Oh. If my dog only has 3 or 4 teeth left, do I need to be brushing them?
Yeah, it is one of those things where,
That'd be kind of cute, just brushing that one tooth.
That's right. It's much quicker, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But it is one of those things that whether they've got all 42 or they've got 4, it's still the same process of bacteria and plaque that can accumulate. And whilst they've only got 4, you still want to make sure they keep those 4. So you may not be doing something like a Whimsy's because they won't physically be able to chew it properly. But if you can, try and get the toothbrush or even that finger brush, just so that you can have some kind of mechanical abrasion that's working on that tooth.
Cool.
Or teeth.
Yeah. If my dog, because both Queen and Pom Poms, they don't have teeth, but they still like love, like, you know, like they're like lollipops to them, I guess. Is that okay? Is that cool?
Yeah, it's one of those things, keep an eye on them. You always want to make
Here,
sure that they're safe, so they're not chewing anything that they could accidentally swallow because it's the wrong size, even if they haven't chewed it. So Pom Pom, not too sure.
Pom Pom, it's not going to happen.
It's probably not. The big thing I say is look for a brand that's VOHC, got the seal of acceptance. That's where we know that it's been externally validated, which Whimsy's has, and it therefore has that proof that it's going to reduce plaque and going to reduce tartar. So that's kind of your way to go to know if you've got a good product or not. And if you go to vohc.com, you can see all the dental chews listed there that are available around the globe. When it comes to bones, that's also a good question because, you know, I think about my parents, they're like, dental chews, you just give them a bone. The big thing here is remember too that these are designed specifically with the biomechanics of how a dog chews in mind. So they've got those grooves and ridges to really work in between teeth. The other thing to remember too is that with bones, dogs love them because they're full of marrow, and that marrow is so high in fat content that it can easily be a huge amount of calories every single day to their diet. So you want to make sure that that's not leading to an obese factor, but also that they're not having consistent bones, which could potentially cause an obstruction. And last but not least, always make sure they're raw. Never ever give your dog a cooked bone, because that's when it might lead to that emergency trip to the veterinarian, which always happens either on a public holiday or the middle of the night. And of course, we never want that for any of our dogs.
True. Wow. Thank you for the in-depth answers. That was awesome.
Oh, I could talk this all night long.
Yeah, I love your passion. That's awesome. Is there anything else you think people should know? Most of the other questions are generally the same. So is there anything else that you'd like to share?
A couple of people have asked, what about water additives? How does that work? Because if they're not wanting to use a dog chew or if the dog doesn't like it, the big thing here I'd say is the most important guidelines from what the World Small Animal Veterinary Association state is that it has to have something that pulls the plaque off the teeth. You know, plaque's pretty strong and the water additives just won't have that physical abrasion. So they don't find them highly effective. And that's why I'd always encourage choose something, be it a toothbrush or a chew, which is going to actually help. And then one other one I saw pop up is what are the ingredients of a Whimsy's? And I think this is key because the big takeaway message here is they're just 6 key ingredients, the main one of which is potato. So it hasn't got any grains, hasn't got any proteins. It's low fat, low calorie. So it's really perfect if you've got a pet with a sensitivity or a pet who's got, you know, special needs such as that. They might be carrying a few of those extra pounds. So potato based makes it nice and easy. So you can recommend it to all users, even for example, on all your dogs, Lee, given that you've got a wide variety who might have some special unique needs.
Oh yeah, we definitely do. I mean, Tony, I have to keep his weight down. Charles over here doing everything we can to keep his weight down. So that's what's great about them is they really do love them. Like I keep the Whimsy's like separate from all the other treats because it takes them, what I really like, it takes them a long time to chew them. They don't just get through them like every other thing. Yeah. So I usually give it to them when I'm downstairs in the gym or whatever, or at my office. And then they just all hang out and chew it. Like they love it down there because of them. It's awesome.
They are good. And I just saw one other question come up. What about antlers? And that's a good point. Remember, you want to have it so you can get your fingernail through it. An antler, they actually suggest by some veterinary organizations, is way too hard. And that's where you can get to tooth fractures. So that's another good tip too, to remember if you're going to give them something, make sure it's something that's not going to damage those teeth, but it's going to clean those teeth instead.
I recently learned that as well. I just now learned. I've been giving my dogs antlers ever since I can remember, up until about like 6 months ago.
Well, now, see, it's all about education. We just don't know. And then one last one, they said, what about puppies? This is another really good question. With puppies here, you want to make sure, absolutely, when you first bring your puppy home and you're buying your dog bed, your bowl, your crate, everything, buy a Whimsy's dental chews. We have them from 3 months of age. We're one of the only products that do. And then that way, remember, prevention is so much better than trying to fix them when they're older and they've got severe dental disease. So you can start that journey with a puppy, and they come in really gorgeous, cute teddy bears and duckies. rubber duckies that are just simply, they're gorgeous. So you can't help but say no to that when you're buying all your other products.
Where can people find out more about all this information? I saw a couple people ask what the name of that website was. VOCH again?
Yep, so it's the Veterinary Oral Health Council. Their website is vohc.com, and they have the list of all the products, not just dental chews, everything that can help from a dental health standpoint. So it's a nice way of looking at external validation.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for
My
joining
pleasure.
and your time and all the knowledge. Thank you.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye.